Hey guys, Jim Edwards here, and welcome back to the Sales and Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast. This is episode
51.
51 and done. Is it 51 and done, or are we going to keep going after this one?
Keep going.
Okay.
We're number one.
So what
51.
is our topic today, Mr. Stu Smith?
Well, you know, we got a lot of feedback from people, and we're kind of taking multiple emails here and putting them into one show because this was kind of a mesh of several people who were getting people to their website. So they're getting eyeballs on their sales copy. You know, they're getting visitors to their sites, but they're just not getting visitors to purchase. So they're not quite closing the deal.
Okay.
So we basically need Jim to help us walk through the steps of creating compelling sales copy.
Okay.
Gets people to dig deeper in anything, whether that is something you need, something you want,
a luxury item,
a bucket list item, whatever it was. We just put them all together in this one show, and because it's all the same. And Jim's going to show us how it's the same.
Am I?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I mean, just thinking that's something we could teach a 12-week thing on.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a huge topic. So the thing that I think we should talk about is the fact that if you're driving traffic and you're getting people to your website and they're not buying, then there's probably one or more of really three problems. The first problem is that they get to your site and they don't feel like they have landed in the right spot based on the conversation that your ad or your article or whatever got them to click over to your site. They feel as though this isn't the place for them. So, for example, let's say Stu were to have an article about how to increase your pull-ups and then had a link over to his website, and the link went to a landing page or an offer on his website for a foot massager or seriously, or for an orthotic.
Right.
That's
or running shoe or something.
Or running shoes or something like that. It has nothing to do with what brought them there in the first place. And you got to think about this as a conversation. Let's say you're having a conversation, you strike up a conversation with somebody in the checkout line at the grocery store, and then you're talking to them in the parking lot, and then you say, hey, you know, we were talking about duck decoys and stuff like that. Come on over and I'll show you. I got something cool I want to show you. And then they follow you to Cabela's, the sporting good place, and you take them over to the deer hunting aisle and say, hey, this is pretty cool, right? It's like, dude, this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, and I drove all the way over here, and this makes absolutely no sense. Don't ever talk to me again, weirdo. Think about it.
Yeah, right.
You're like, no, why would you do that? But people do that all the time. So you have to do what you would do in real life, which is, hey, start a conversation about this, and then I'd like to show you some more. Come on over and take a look. And what you're showing them is totally related to what brought them over to your house or to your store or to your pickup truck, your van down by the river, or whatever it is. That has to do with continuing that conversation. Next, once they know, okay, this is a continuation of a conversation that I want to have about whatever the topic is. The next thing is you have to, whatever it is that you want to sell them or you want to persuade them to do, you have to change them emotionally, because right now, plus or minus, we're all the same. We're fine. I'm not too good, not too bad. I'm fine. There's a lot of stuff I might want to buy, but I don't really need, and all that stuff. The only thing that makes people buy is emotion. You've heard the saying, people buy on emotion and they justify with logic. What that means is that people on the first go round see something they want. They tell themselves a story inside their head that creates emotion, and that emotion changes them enough that they need to buy in order to satisfy some physical / psychological need. That's honest to God. That's
Oh,
what
that's
happens.
great. Yeah, you're exactly right.
So the way that you change them physically and emotionally is to tell them a story. So when we did the live Facebook show inside of the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks Facebook group today, we were talking to Marty, and we were talking about the story that he was telling the people that he wanted to, the entrepreneurs and CEOs that he wanted to attract into his business. And we said, basically, your story has to become their story. And what that means is the story you tell, even if it's about you, or if it's about a customer, or if it's even a fictitious, typical customer story, say something like along the lines of, hey, does this sound familiar? You used to be in really good shape, maybe in your 20s, and then you got caught up in your work and your business, and you started building a business and family, and those workouts got fewer and further between until you look back, and now it's been 5-10 years since you've worked out. Your pants are a lot tighter, you're feeling heavier, your energy's gone, and you're just not who you used to be. And now it's starting to affect your ability not only to build your business, but interact with your family. And it's time to nip this in the bud, because every year you let this go now, it's going to get worse and worse and harder and harder. And so what we need to do right now is change your image of who you are. So that story, that wasn't about a specific person, but it was their story, if they're going to resonate it with. So you got to tell a story that resonates with them. Could be you, could be a customer, just like what we said there. Once you've done that, and you've got them to the point of threshold where man, this, yeah, I got to do something. What do you have that could help me? And who are you, and why should I listen to you? Again, all of that can be handled through the story, or you may have to just address it right there. You know, at this point, you might, and here's your high tech transition. At this point, you might be wondering, who am I and how am I qualified to help you in this area? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So next, you got to make an offer. And I love to think of the offer just like a simple teeter-totter, okay? They're down here, and the buy button is up here. All right? They're down here, and the buy button's down here. What you have to do is you have to start stacking on these cool things in your offer that address their fears, that address their concerns, that address their problems, that address their objections, until finally it pushes down and it pushes them up so they can reach the buy button. That's it. That's what has to happen. You push down on the other end, and it pushes up so they'll buy the buy button. They'll push the buy button. Now, depending on your price point, depending on the severity and the immediacy of what you're trying to sell, you don't have to push down that hard. If it's something rudimentary like a car battery and they're stranded on the side of the highway, as long as they got enough money on their credit card to pay you, they'll pretty much pay you anything you ask for that battery without a whole lot of questions.
That's a good point.
So it's also the circumstances under which you find them. So then what you need to do is just keep stacking on the value until they go, okay, I gotta have this. I gotta have it. And you're going to appeal to logic. You're going to appeal to emotion. You're going to appeal to scarcity. Typically, the three things that I try to address when I'm doing any kind of an offer is when you're selling something to somebody, I call it the big elephant in the room. What's the big obstacle, the big problem that this is going to solve for them? This is going to help you stop bleeding from your chainsaw wound. This is going to give you the quick start to drop that first 10 pounds. This is going to get you started. This is the thing. Then typically I want to address, and I'm looking because I have these notes everywhere on all my monitors and stuff, because these are like my key thoughts that I always have with me at all times. The second one is the biggest cost or resource they think that they're going to need or have to spend. And so what you want to do, if you can eliminate that or you can include it. So somebody thinks they're going to have to spend $200 on a piece of software, and you can include the software with your offer at no extra charge, they're going to be like, whoa, okay. And then the third thing is whatever the skill or the effort they think they have to do They either have to have or be able to do in order to get results. That's the other thing that you want to address in your offer. So again, that's not everything, but if you look at the skill, just the biggest obstacle, and then usually it's some sort of a resource or cost, and then some sort of a skill or ability or effort that they're going to have to put out. If you can take that away or do it for them or show them where to get it done, then that will help to increase the value and push them up to push that buy button. But that's typically the reasons why people don't buy once you get them over to your site. And the big overarching reason people don't buy typically is because your sales copy is about what it is. It's about two things. It's about what it is, and it's about you. And the problem is that doesn't work. Your sales copy needs to be about what it does for them, and it needs to be all about them, all about the payoffs, all about what is going to happen for them if they go ahead and buy. Nobody cares about you. They only care about themselves. So, I mean, typically that's it. And a lot of it also will come back to your attitude about your attitude about your product. I've seen a lot of people where they're not excited about their product and it comes through in their sales copy. They're not pumped up about it. They think we sell pretty much plus or minus the exact same thing as everybody else. And if you think that, then you either need to change your attitude, and also you need to change your perception, and you need to add a lot more value to whatever it is that you're selling.
Well, we mentioned why people aren't buying. All right. Now, I would hold up your book right now, but it's in my bathroom where I read it.
Did you run out of paper, or are you actually reading it?
But no. I'm reading it.
Because this would be mighty uncomfortable, but it is what it is.
No, but there is a section in there on why people buy.
Oh, and that, my friend, I can turn right to it.
Absolutely.
That is actually secret number 3. Without a strong why, people don't buy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's list them off real quick.
Make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental or physical pain, get more comfort, achieve greater cleanliness or hygiene to attain better health, gain praise, feel more loved, increase their popularity or social status.
There you go. That's a list of things you need to add into that sales copy, part of your story.
Absolutely. So I would just say, and part of your offer.
Yeah.
It's you tie the offer pieces to this stuff.
All the
like
payoffs.
For example, let's say you were selling African safaris. Right? You're not going to make money from an African safari. Maybe you could save money, save time, and avoid effort. I mean, that could be huge.
Yes.
But you're talking about how we guide you through the immigration process. We make sure that you're safe. We make sure that, our buggies are lion proof, rhino proof, and bulletproof from insurgents, escape mental or physical pain. Just again, the worry about, are you going to see any animals? Where are you going to land? Where are you going to eat? How are you going to be safe? All those things. Greater cleanliness or hygiene or attain greater health, gain praise, feel more loved, increase their popularity or social status. So this is funny. This is interesting. A mutual friend of ours, who shall remain nameless, just because I don't have permission to reveal this, but a mutual friend of ours is going on a safari this month. Did you know that? And it is a gift from his father-in-law. It is his father-in-law's dream to have always gone on safari.
Okay. That sounds like
him. So they're all going.
Well, that's fun.
And so dad is doing this to feel the love of his family and helping them to do the dream. But what about also increasing popularity or social status?
Oh, that just did it.
Think about telling all your friends, hey man, I'm going on African safari, like in Africa.
I'm taking my whole family on African safari.
I'm taking my whole family, and we're going to go see lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, it's going to be amazing. So I tend to stick with the top 5 just because of the stuff that I've always done, the make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental or physical pain. But there's a whole nother list down there that you can tie stuff to that are reasons why people buy. And that's something, again, you tie that in with your offer and you can really motivate people. I mean, why does somebody buy a Rolls Royce? I can tell you right now, it's because you want to feel cool driving down the street in a Rolls Royce. A Rolls Royce is not as nice a car as other cars. There are other cars on the road that ride smoother, cost less to maintain, and are more dependable. I can tell you that for a fact. But there's nothing like driving through the Hardee's drive-through in an orange ball cap, driving a Rolls Royce. That will get you noticed. And that's why people drive them. You know, that's why it's the only reason why somebody buys a Rolls is for the status. That's why. If they tell you any other reason, that's a story they're hallucinating to themselves until they finally get honest and say it's because of how I feel about myself and how I know other people look at me, or how I feel other people look at me when I'm riding or driving in it.
Yeah, good point. Because I drive a Toyota Highlander, and it is by far the best car I've ever owned, because that thing has lasted forever with just brakes and oil changes, and it's definitely not a status symbol.
Right.
But it is a very practical,
and you're not going to get carjacked.
Car. Yeah.
No one's going to jack you, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't worry about where you park it at the grocery store.
Yeah, we all have reasons to buy.
Right.
No matter what it is. And that's a very good way to sum this up, because these were, you know, people that thought they had such a niche market that, you know, funnel scripts or, your wizards on the Jim Edwards method, you know, wasn't for them.
Right.
Because it doesn't work for them. But let me tell you, it doesn't matter, because Jim's wizards are this system that he just discussed that puts all that in there for you.
Right. So, if it satisfies a desire or solves a problem, then the wizards and the scripts work. The problem is that if you just put in what it is, no matter what it is, it's not going to work. But that saves you a whole lot of time and energy for doing crappy copy. Because if it doesn't read right when you fill out the wizard, it's because you didn't fill it out right, because you put in the wrong thing.
There you
go.
So,
something to think about. Okay, cool. So those of you who are not members of the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks group on Facebook, you should be. And you can check that out. Also, if you want to check out past episodes of the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast, go to thejimedwardsmethod.com/podcast. And you can catch up on all 51 past episodes, or 50 past. I guess we're on 51.
Yeah, we're on 51.
Okay. You can get a whole bunch of episodes. And we love the people that power listen to us when they go across country or on tramp steamers going across the Atlantic. Just make sure you download, because as soon as you're out of Wi-Fi range, it's kind of rough. So
yep, and you can get them in audio version as well.
There you go.
So, there you go.
All right, great job, Stu.
Thank you.
And we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody.